Microphone check. Microphone check. What the heck is the music going through? Is the music playing to you? What is this? What is that? I don't know what these buttons are. Ooh, chat settings. Highlight things. Not today. Bass Goonie, what you doing today? I'm just stream away. Where are my buttons at? I don't remember how to stream. Hey Pat, can you teach me how to win a streamy? That's an award. The Streamer Nerds. Meow, 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 meow. Well, then if it's ready to go, then press the go button. Just press the go button, be a go bot, and press that go button, like a robot that presses go. My friend. I don't think that's what I was going to say, but I couldn't think of a rhyme, and then I decided to be polite instead of being mean to you for once. Meow, 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 meow. Oh no, don't get used to it. Do not get used to it. I still hate everybody and everything that isn't me, or my adorable little hat, which I honestly don't even love my hat, but still, it's better than your hat. That's what I know. Anyway, somebody press the start button. Where's the start button? Can anybody find the start button? Does the start button move? Oh, there it is. Here we go again. Nothing more, nothing lesser. Add rock on the mic. He's the antidepressor. Something else gonna be an aggressor. Put your socks away in the dresser. If I say hello, say yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for playing along. Well, part of the song. What are we gonna do now? I'll say the word cow, 'cause it rhymes, and we're in time, and we're having some fun, and also clean your bum. Well, now you're just saying poop words. The music feels a little loud. Maybe it's just in my ears. Turn it down a little bit. So it's just some backgrounding music. Oh, Space Goonie, it's been a while. So long that you still haven't had time to get a haircut, because I'm pretty sure within 7 days, you'd have to plenty of time to get a haircut, so you still don't have a haircut. Can you explain? I didn't get a haircut. Try to do other things. There's always other things to be done. So no, I didn't get a haircut. All right? Maybe I just wanted something for you to complain about. Oh, well, thank you then. Thank you for wrapping that up in a little bow for me. A little present for me to make fun of your stupid hair that's flipped up in the back in a way that you just can't stop. And, that's fun for me. When every time you turn around, I could, have a little chuckle to myself. Maybe Ted will join in. Hey, bros. There's no way, eh? There's no way I will ever join in the fun making of other people, guys. It's all about being polite and good. Just trying your best. There's no need to, be a jerk. There's just no need. So what do I do with the rest of my time? What do I do with the other 23 hours a day if I'm not being a jerk? Nothing, you don't make any sense, Ted. You just don't make any sense at all. Meow, meow, meow. Oh, of course, you'll agree with Ted. Everyone agrees with Ted. Let's all be nice. Hey, Ted's the good guy, and I'm just here to cause trouble. Oh, well, when you worry, you make it double. So don't worry, guys. Be happy. I think you trailed off in the wrong direction from what you were going to say. Oh, man. So anyway, another one of those weird, not weird days, but weird days where Flash, where the program that I do everything in, just wasn't cooperative. It's just getting And I don't even know how to explain it other than features that worked 3 weeks ago just don't work anymore. Or they do work, but they're just like, oh, you want to animate this, and then you also want to export it so you can use it for your job? Like, yes, please. Not today, sir. Not today. We're Adobe, and we're fine with whatever this is. So, like, last week, basically trying to animate the similar kind of effect that I'm doing this week, and it was just like, this should be super simple. This shouldn't be a huge deal. But you just have to keep kind of modifying and changing things. It's like trying to mask things off, trying to layer things over. Because one of the magical things that I like to do to get certain like electrical or smoky effects, foggy glows and whatnot, is to like you just animate a thing and just keep layering different versions of it on top of each other to get some depth and texture and different color and whatnot. And it used to be that I could just pile up a pile of stuff until it's like, ooh, that almost looks like I did it in 3D or something. It's crazy. And within the last few months, if not year, it's just like, no, we don't really do that anymore. You wanted me to just export this? Like, I just want you to export it as a movie. Like, no. But I'm smarter than the average Yogi Bear sometimes, so there are certain sidestepping maneuvers I can pull to still get the effects that I want. One of which being, instead of exporting a movie, I export it all as individual frames, bring that into a video editing program, and then it just works. It's fine. But today it was just like, in my file, in the file I'm animating in, it's like, there it is, it's all there, it's looking great. The computer isn't choking on it. I simplified it, so it's like, you're not going to have the problems I had last week, because this is the simplest, most refined way to do this. The computer isn't going to sound like a lawnmower while I was trying to turn it into a movie. And then render out a movie, and the first one was like, I'll give you some of the frames. I'll give you some of the frames at the effect that you need, but the rest are just going to be flat and weird and maybe pixelated. Like, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I say unacceptable. You're being unacceptable. This whole courtroom is being unacceptable. That's what I know about that. That's what I know about that. Yeah, unacceptability. Yeah. Oh. Hey, it's me. I'm also one of the buttons. You probably forgot I was still here, but here I am.
That was supposed to be me railing about things and ranting, He-Man.
Anyway, so I was just doing those things where I'm just like, what's going on? I guess I'll simplify it more. So I would simplify it more, and it was still just, then now it's like, now we're not even gonna act like you put the effects on this. We're just gonna render it out as a flat piece of nonsense. Like, this is my whole day. I wanted to do a stream tonight. Am I gonna have to skip live streaming so I can just sit here and watch my computer try its best to render out the things that I've done today? And then I was like, fine. If one of my fixes is to render out frame by frame and just put that in a video program, turn it back into video there, then the other way to do this particular effect can be pulled off by breaking everything separately, exporting it as different parts, bringing those into a video editing program, putting video effects on it instead of my Flash animation effects, and then reassembling all of the things. Pat Pro 101. Oh, I'm not on the right. I gotta click on this over here as well. So I can see all of the chats that may pass through the halls of Chatworthington. So then I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to do that then. And I'm like, started breaking it all apart, did a test, and I'm like, all right, I'm still going to do a stream, and then after the stream, I'll throw some things together, and then watch my computer chug at trying to render these things out. Weird. That was doing that last week, or on last week's stream. I'm not sure if it was doing on my work stream, but there was a whole slew. CTK said a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and none of it showed up. And then Captain Army said something on YouTube, and his did show up, and then CTKs were occasionally showing up. So I still don't know. Actually, Pat was there, and he was the one that was like, "Hey, test." So Pat does know what I'm talking about already. Yeah, I still don't know. I don't know. There was an update since then. I would like to assume that would fix everything, but I don't know. I can see. Yeah, that's weird. LOL test or sorry test. But yeah, it's weird because usually in my little side window here where I get to see everything, I get to, oh no, there's Pat. Pat is Nope. That's what we discovered last week. So there's both things from Pat. But yeah, some of them, they weren't showing up in my feed where I should see it all, but they were showing up on screen as if they had passed through the gauntlet of whatever robots that check those things. But I know that I was going to say Twitch has been having some issues, like yesterday or the day before. But Twitch has issues like every second day anyway, and I think Streamlabs was having some issues as well. There's so many different cogs in this machine that have to all work together. That it's almost to be expected. That things are just gonna not line up. Like the fact that it works as much as it does still boggles my mind. I mean, the fact that I have trouble trying to get all of the lights behind me to all work. Sometimes it's just like you just don't work. Like you're just a light. I should just be able to turn you on, and you come on because you are a light. But sometimes not. So, on my last Streamlabs stream on Friday, I was making some emotes for people, and because I just didn't really feel like, I don't really feel like drawing Milo right now, I decided that I'm gonna do Voxney's, Lady Voxney's emote. She was looking for a Voxney hangry emote, i.e. when you're so hungry or angry. So I thought, like, oh, maybe I'll do that now. It shouldn't be too difficult. I already have something to start with. There's still a bunch of like anime shading and anime things to think about, which aren't normally in my head. But I just stopped talking mid-sentence. But still in the mood to make some stuff for people, so I'm gonna do that instead of my own random stuff. But also, I don't know. My hand kind of hurts, or it's like, I don't know. When you just kind of have no strength in just your hand. It's kind of like that. I've still got a bunch of paint on me, but I think it was just from like doing laundry on the weekend. I think I just kind of like jammed my finger in the laundry basket or somewhere in the process of going up and down the stairs. There came a point on the weekend where I was like, ow, like my middle finger really hurts. Like this bird is not ready to fly. So if anybody's mean, I'm going to have to use words or my other middle finger. So yeah, it just kind of like feels better than it did on, I was going to say way back on Monday. It's only Tuesday. But yeah, I still just have this weird feeling of like, oh, I'm tempted to just go to sleep. But that's my answer for everything. So I'm going to just trace over this one, actually. Or, well, not completely, because I still want to turn it to the side. But just so I have some sort of... size. What's the word I'm thinking of? So I can maintain the volume. Ooh, my fancy microphone is in frame. Ah. It's like square and stuff. This is just the coolest looking microphone ever. Clyde was all, oh want to say angry, frustrated, disappointed. During our Streamlabs stream, because we did a collab cam. So I was on, and so was Clyde, and I was drawing stuff, and he was talking as well through the air across the ocean for the first time ever, just like Marconi. I forgot that this is. There we go. Blocking my light a little bit, so there's a big shadow on my face. So my microphone is amazing, and Clyde's microphone is only mostly amazing, but in comparison, I sound like the radio, and he sounds like somebody who has a regular live streaming microphone. Which again, it's not a bad microphone. It just picks up a lot, whereas this is like nice and focused right here. So I could just kind of whisper and kind of go a little ASMR about things. Trying to look around here now to see what could I ASMR. Ooh, I should probably do one of these. This is probably good for my hand. This? Nope. I don't think you can. I can't see that registering at all, but I should definitely do that thing to strengthen my hand back up. Yeah, I don't think anything within reach actually makes any sound. I'm not sure. As far as I know, she designed it, I think, and I don't know if she drew this specific one or somebody else drew it for her. But she does draw and make things. And she is currently back on that horse that is, hey Streamlabs, make a Kevin plushie for me that she was doing before Christmas. Why am I drawing the hair? Don't draw the hair, draw the structure, you idiot, you idiot. Hey idiot, excuse me? Have you thought about drawing structure? Maybe draw the structure first instead of jumping right to the details like a crazy person? Just to be that voice of reason. It's literally what I just said that to myself about you did not have to chime in. There's no reason for you to have chimed in.
Yeah, perhaps maybe you start with structuring lines, the skeletal breakdown of the face, before you move on to the skin. Think about me. Think about how my face is a skeleton to begin with, but yet so much sinewy, beefy muscle on the rest of me, and also this adorable little hood that reminds me of your grandmother in a rainstorm when she'd, tie that little plastic hood on her head instead of, having a coat with a hood on it. Yeah, is this my voice?
This is who we are, and this is what we do. This is what we do, and this is who we are. Nope. Something. That was from a long, long time ago, like from when TBS first started. When TBS came on and then it started becoming a fun channel, where it was like nothing but fun stuff. That was their between shows jingle of this is who we are, and this is what we do, or this is what we do, and this is who we are. We're TBS. And I don't remember what it is, but I know that those words were there, and that just slipped into my head, and I'll probably think about that for a while. Now, updates from last week. There was something that I said. Hero of the Sprites, I recognize that name. I'm Mr. Cartoons, so I'm a herald of the publisher Venus Evil, and their game Evil. Evil? Evil, as in the Village of Evil. I think I get that. Is having stickers for their heralds, but require permission from the creator of the image. And I was hoping to use the logo you drew, the melting game controller. Sorry for the long block of text. No, yeah, that's yours. That's yours, HOTS. HOTS? Hots? Hero of the Sprites, you're the Hots. Yeah, that's yours to do whatever you want. Go bananas. My job, my Streamlabs job on those days is just to pick stuff and make it for people to have and to hold. You put that on merchandise if you want. You make stickers. You can sell it. You can put it on lunchboxes, and then dinosaurs. They're just gnashing of teeth. We didn't think about how we got here. We climbed on the backs of what we no drifted. To quote from the email, please make sure you have the proper permissions to use those assets for these purposes. You legally must have permission from your emote sticker, artist sticker emote added into Evil. Okay, wasn't sure. Had to go by the legalese of the but understandable. You're one of the few. You're one of the proud. You're definitely one of the great. Who takes the time? Who takes the time to care? Like this one here. I didn't draw this one, but somewhere on here, this little character here that's all blurry. I drew that one because Voxney was looking for a logo that was like her hugging a carrot, and she's put that on mugs and she sells it. It's on all kinds of stuff, and there's nothing I love more. Dude named Freak Bass, who plays a bass, and he's awesome. Or he seems super awesome. He's got super fun glasses and outfits. He's like some sort of magical combination of how many ofs does it take for you to remember what it is you're trying to say? Just think real hard. The names are up there. You could do it. Put your back into it. Of a combination of I can see him. I can almost hear him. He's got all the songs in the world. He's on like a farewell tour right now, or he was just on a farewell tour. He's got the glasses, always with the different glasses, and that little baseball man outfit that he definitely can't pull off anymore. Elton John. He's like a combination of Elton John and David Bowie, and then I'm gonna say whoever the bass player from Primus is, or just Primus or something. But anyway. I did a logo or an emote or something for him, and literally like a week later after that stream, he was heading down to TwitchCon, and he was like, hey, if anybody sees me at TwitchCon, come on around and I'll give you some stickers. And they were the stickers of the thing that I made, and I wasn't like, I should get a cut of that. Somebody should legally approach me and ask me for, like, no, like that's the best. Like, that's the best thing. Like, I was nowhere near there. If I had been there, like, that would have been one of the highlights of the day. Would be like, seeing stuff that I had made floating around. Even though my company's booth was there and they were still handing out stuff that I'd made, there's something majestic. There's something very consummate V about the stuff that I make just going out into the wild. And people liking it. I believe I got a notification a few days ago where you guys were just like, oh, by the way, we love this logo. Like, that's what keeps my blood pumping. That's what I thrive on. I of course need a paycheck from my job to live, but once I have that, everything else is just where and how do I get these Energon cubes from people, just from their happiness and excitement for things. Hey, remember how you were drawing a picture or whatever instead of just being excited about things, being excited? Yes, very, very aware, very aware. Just somewhere in there, I feel like I was starting to say something else. And then I got, I was talking about Voxney and her thing. So I basically ended up saying that thing again. But proper permission granted, one. And, yes, I was going to say. So, the part 2, if you will. The extra information from last week's stream where I mentioned that the super of the building moved into the basement, and the dude that cleans the building moved in across the hall, or down the hall on the other side. And, theoretically, people are like, well, that's great. Like, that's great, right? Like, now if there's a problem, it's just like he's already in the building. So if the power goes out and then that the power is out alarm goes off, for 48 hours straight. It won't, because he'll be like, oh, I'll just go turn that off because his girlfriend lives there. So she's gonna be like, hey, come on home and turn this off, or he'll be home and he'll turn it off. But there's the cheek. Some of the issues, like minute one, I was going down to do laundry on the weekend, and apparently the super hadn't moved in yet. I thought he already did, but he didn't. What if I move this slightly? So I was bringing my laundry down to the basement. I had a basket with laundry in it, and he appeared in front of me because there's a door down by where he's moving into the basement. And he was like, like an excited 5-year-old. And yes, I realize, isn't it ironic, don't you think? I was just very excited not but 4 minutes ago. But he was just like, hey, like, what are you doing down here? Like, are you moving into the basement? Now, if anybody in this entire building would be aware that the laundry room is down there, and that's clearly where I'm going, like, he talks to me all the time. He knows my name. I know his name. He'll sometimes literally be like, hey, check it out. Look at the little outfit we got for the dog. Like, that's adorable. Like, we're very, very much on friendly terms. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But still, it's just like, what do you mean am I? And it's just like, no, I'm just doing laundry. Like, well, I'm moving into the basement. Like, yee, like, just so excited to be moving in. Like, is this the best building that the guy who owns these buildings owns? Like, am I in the best one? Because if it is, wow, it's not the best. But it's, I don't know, it's cool. Like, it's a crazy old building, so it's got lots of character. But man, oh man, I would love to have a poop without listening to the people next door hate each other. Oh, anime. How do you draw anime? So anyway, that was that. No big deal. It's just like, obviously you kind of, for some reason, wanted to announce that you were moving in, even though, A, I could see you physically moving in, and you already told me you were, and I thought you already did. But, you could have just said, hey, I'm excited that I'm moving in, rather than, what are you doing in the... There's only one reason for me to be in the basement. I live on the second floor. This isn't the main floor. This is the basement. Why else would I be down here? But, of course, as somebody who uses extra words and paragraphs just for the fun of using words, I should understand other people like to do that as well. What do you mean? Like how some people like to make up extra characters to be like, oh, this isn't just me talking. I could also have some more words for no reason other than just to have more words coming out of the mouth of something else just for the fun of it. Hey guys, also I can say other words, bros. This voice isn't very different from anything, And also, I just don't know what my voice is still. Someday we should figure it out, or replace me with somebody else. Yeah. I mean, yes, exactly. I can't. There. So anyway, what I said during that stream was, when somebody was like, probably CTK, like, well, that's great. And I was just like, not so. They will be the ones that will be the causing of the most trouble. So the aforementioned adorable little dog, whenever he comes upstairs to talk to the cleaner guy, to hang out, because they used to be roommates at wherever they used to live, he doesn't just come upstairs, knock on the door, and hey, how's it going? Oh, not too bad. And in he goes, or off they go to do whatever they're doing. All of a sudden, I will hear... Where's Mikey? Where's Mikey's door? Find Mikey's door. Where's Mikey? Find Mikey. Where's Mikey? Find Mikey's door. Oh, is that Mikey's door? Get to Mikey's door. Like, we gonna do this? We gonna do this every time? We gonna do this every time? I guess we're gonna do this every time. Oh, so every time they come up to visit Mikey, they, with no real, attention to audio, to volume, they try to get the dog excited about getting to Mikey's door. Again, it seems like a pretty smart dog. And again, they're being nice. They're not shoving conspiracies down my throat. They're not being angry about people wearing masks. They're not complaining that Trump would make a better president than Trudeau. However that works, both don't do great jobs. But we're not here to talk about politics. So anyway, one of the things, one of the immediate proofs that these guys are going to be a little bit of trouble. You know what I think I want to do? There we go. I just want to make that not quite as visible so I can see what I'm doing. I am the one drawing pictures right now over here. So I come downstairs. I go downstairs. I can't remember why. I think I left the building to get food. Groceries, perhaps. Came back in the building. A little while later. And there is what is unmistakably, I've had dogs, I've had cats. From 25 feet away, at least from 10 feet away, I can recognize what is obviously a dog who has just eaten either a mouthful of grass or drank a bunch of water too fast and did that weird dog puke thing on the carpet. There's one rug in the middle of the floor when you come into the building. The rest is all like wood stuff, and it's just there in the middle, like just there, just still gloopy. And I'm like, There was a time when I would be the one that's like, well, I'm just going to clean up then. This is still my home and I must defend it, Kevin McAllister style. So whether it is or not my job to clean things, I still like things to be clean. But this time I was like, well, one, I know for a fact it was that little dog. I promise it was that adorable little dog who was probably wearing an adorable little sweater. And, so that's the super. That's the super's dog. So if anybody's going to be like, well, this is definitely my responsibility on two levels, because it was my dog, one, and two, this is my building to protect and defend. Or the other issue, or the other tier of responsibility is you're also technically like kind of the superior of the cleaning guy who also lives in the building, so one or two of you will go past this puke again today. And if you don't, you know that it's here, so it should be like, hey, somebody go down and take care of that. So that was Sunday, I think? Maybe it was Saturday? I don't remember. Either way, today is Tuesday, and I left the building. Did I leave? Yes, I left the building. I went and got a pita. And there is still clearly a splooch of maybe somebody kind of wiped it up, or maybe it just kind of seeped in, but it's just like, this clearly wasn't cleaned up within that day. And, and of course, part of me feels like, oh, well, I was aware of it, and I also left there. I should have just got something and came back down. and cleaned it up. So, just, proof that having them around won't make it better. Doesn't improve things. It's just kind of more of a chance of, oh, well, now you guys are the loud people in the building. And it's very hard to complain about something to the people who are doing the thing. So it's just like, all right, just stuck in that limbo for however long, I guess. But for the most part, they're usually they're not malicious. They're not trying to cause trouble. Everything they do, as near as I can tell, is is 99% of the time to make the building a better place, to help somebody out. They're always, oh, so-and-so needed something, so I went at 5 o'clock in the morning to, fix their, whatever, their heater or their this or that. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. You guys really put in way more effort. Definitely, they don't get paid enough, for sure. The landlord is definitely not the kind of guy that, pays people what they deserve. I still don't quite understand how this ear works. This part is just the back hair. And then I just don't understand what this little tuft is. And I believe I've already asked Voxney about it, and I forgot, because that was months and months ago. Hey, remember when I used to always have stories about Subway? How every time I go to Subway, something weird happens? Haven't really gone to Subway very often in the last while, but I went to Subway, I don't know, sometime last week. I was just super in the mood after talking about eating plant-based vegan chicken nuggets on stream for so long. I was like, you know what that makes me want? A good old-fashioned bacon and egg breakfast sandwich. Because just because I eat a bunch of vegan food does not mean I'm an official vegan of any kind. I still just eat whatever I'm in the mood for. But eating non-meats does make me feel better physically and mentally. So, soup simple. Go to Subway, and there's a family. Is there a family? I think it's a dad. Yeah, a dad and 2 kids. They're ordering just these giant wraps, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta remember to get a wrap one of these days. So good. And they look so good. That's an emote I did for somebody else. Somebody wanted a pizza penguin. So I did that. That was part of my job. So they're ordering away. And for some reason, I think they're also doing a bunch of I don't know, either delivery orders and or the drive-through orders. And my sub is very simple. It's just throw a little bit of mayonnaise, a a little bit of mayonnaise, and they still just put thousands and thousands of pounds on, but that's fine. A little bit of light mayonnaise and a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm good to go. That's literally what I say. I either say it's all good and I'm good to go. And they're like, no problem. Thanks for saving me, giving me a slight break for 5 minutes from having to put all of the ingredients under the sun on stuff for people. Where is this? I'm just going to stick it in behind here. And it's like a little earmuff. Of course, it's like, would you like it toasted? Of course I like it toasted. Why in this day and age would anybody not want things toasted? It's a crazy thing to not want. So they throw it in the toaster. I walk over to the refrigerator machine and grab like a Sprite or a 7-Up or something. Walk back over. Dad and his kids are collecting up all of their wraps, and they're getting their drinks, and then they're sitting down, and I'm like looking around like I don't see a breakfast sandwich anywhere. I think that family might have walked away with my sandwich, but I don't know. They're eating in, so it's fine. There's still time to figure out this mystery if they can't find it. And I'm still waiting, and I'm like waiting to pay. I don't think I've paid yet, or I am paying. And they're still like, so like, what was your sandwich? It was like, the breakfast sandwich. It's the breakfast sandwich. They're like, what's going on over here? It's like, you just made it 5 seconds ago. You put it in the thing. You put it over here. And I'm pretty sure, I think it's at their table. And if you're pulling, and he's like, oh, well, we have a barbecue chicken wrap. Who had the barbecue chicken wrap? I was like, I think that little girl or that little boy had the barbecue. You know what? I'll handle this. So I walk down to their table, and the 2 kids are looking at the dad like, what is going on here, Dad? What is going on here? Like, what? What is it? And the dad is still in just the mode of like, ugh, whatever, just eat your subs. And I step up and I'm like, excuse me, would it be all right for me to assume that the confusion on your faces is because one of you possibly has a breakfast sandwich instead of the wrap that you were looking for? And then the little boy was like, no, like that's not the problem at all. Like I have a wrap, but it's not the right wrap. And I'm just like, I'm not here to solve 2 mysteries. Like, obviously you have your sister's food, and then your sister has my food, and anyway, yours is up there. I'll go get it for you. Listen, I'll take my sandwich from you, and I'll take it up there. So I go to just swap it back out, and the people behind the counter are like, oh my god, we're like, do you want us to make you another one? I'm like, no, I'm not. My name is not Karen. I'm courteous and caring is what my name stands for. Captain Sub, we do have one here. I haven't been to Captain Sub in 1,000 years. I think I do like it way better than Subway, but at the same time, there's something about it I don't love. So anyway, I take my sub, I go home, I throw it in the microwave and heat it back up again because it's just been sitting around during mystery time. But there's something about being out in the world during a situation where a lot of people would, and I've definitely seen that a lot of people have, flipped out completely at situations like that, where it's just like, all right, like, we can figure this stuff out real easy, and regardless, you know, most places are completely happy to be like, oh, well, somebody else, you know, might have touched this, and you might have an issue with it, so we'll make you another one, and what have you. It was like, from top to bottom, it was fine. It was fine. It was like, I walked away, it was just like, I feel good about that. Like, I feel good about that. Like, I wasn't angry, but I know that, you know, 1 in 10. 9 out of 10 people would have been like, this is an outrage, and then probably would have said something also racist. And I don't know. I feel really good when I get to be in a situation where I get to not flip out. Like, exactly. It still ends with subs. 10 points on the board. I don't know how many fingers this character has. Let's pretend it's AI. AI fingers. How many thumbs? Speaking of getting enraged, though, excuse me, sir. I would like to ask you where the F my beef is. Oh, the amount of times I've seen people just do stuff like that, though, and I'm like, wow, good life lessons for me to learn, though. Like, that's the example. I'm gonna go down a different route and try not to be a rage monster, because God knows, like, deep inside all of us, we're all still, potentially rage monsters all over the place. Yeah, I mean, some people go so far as to create whole other identities so they could also just like, oh, well, this will be my angry identity, and I can still be a happy, personable little guy. And then, if somebody else needs to say something, if you just want to be angry, you just drift over and let the angry voice do its thing. Just be angry and do its thing.
I want many subs, and I want them fast and hot and ready to go.
I'm never that hurting for a sub. Problem with thinking of like, oh, that segues me into this other thought. But then because I do allow a bunch of other characters into my head to say things, I completely lose the trail that I had in my head. Oh, yes. But speaking of flipping out inside your head, my car still is... I've been trying to get my car inspected for like 2 months now. So, took it in to get inspected. You gotta get this welding done. No problem. Took as long as that took. Got the welding done, spent all the money in the world. Take it back to get inspected. Well, since it took you longer than 10 days, well, yeah, Christmas came, and snow came, and everybody's backed up with stuff, so there is no such thing as getting an appointment for anything within 10 days. So yeah, it's been over 10 days. Inspected it again, inspected again. My friend, inspected again. Again, those people... also super nice. The last time I did get it re-inspected, they had a little dog there. I just sat there playing with their little dog for the longest time. He was adorable. He hated a dude in like a camouflage hunting jacket, and I was like, haha, he knows you're a murderer and he hates you for it, and so do I. We're best friends. And they were like, all right, little puppy, whatever your name is, time for you to come out back. It's time for your nap time. And he was like, but I don't want nap time. And he like hid behind my legs, and I was like, this is adorable. This dog knows I will murder all of you if he asks me to. That's what I will. I will do anything for this dog that I just met today. This is like the third time I've met this dog, but this is the first time we really connected. He put his tongue in my mouth. It's gross. Did not expect it. Did not see it coming. All of a sudden, he was in my face, and his tongue was right in my mouth. It's COVID. It's still COVID times, dog. It's still COVID times. But I, for once, had forgotten my mask, so I was asking for it. I was asking for it. Just gonna need a wooden spoon. Hopefully that will read. Why was I saying all of that? Ah, yes. So then they come back and she's like, all right, so here's the thing. And I'm like, here's the thing is not how you start. Here's the thing. We put the sticker on your car. You're inspected now. That sentence doesn't make any sense. Therefore, that's not what you're going to say. Here's the thing, is clearly you're going to go down a list of new things for me to get fixed, and I will just never, ever have my car inspected? Yeah, it's an old car. Yes, I should replace it, but what I want to replace it with is the exact same car. But not newer, but just not that much, but not that newer. I just want this one in pristine new condition. But how do you do that? I don't know. You can't. Of course, I don't know. By the time I'm done with this, maybe it will. So, so she's like, yeah, you're going to have to, the wheel well. Now we want you to weld over the wheel well, because that's real rotted and rusty. Like, yeah, I thought that's what you were sending me there. I didn't realize that the side panels or whatever it is you said they were the things on the side. I thought we were talking about those wheel wells, because that's what was the worst part. But, you know, I never think to go, oh, by the way, while I'm here, do all of it? Just do all of it? So they gave me another list of things, so then I have to go back to the welding guy, who, again, same as the people across, or people who clean the building and whatnot, not a bad guy. Practically a local hero, you know, with his stories of like, oh, I helped this person, I did that. I was like, yeah, this is great. You sound just like my dad. That's kind of why I come here. But I also have to endure a good solid 15 to 20 minutes of conspiracy theories. Not the fun ones. Not like, ooh, dinosaurs had feathers or aliens. It's literally just like the government this, and the phones in your pocket that, and the needles this, and vaccines, and my son is that, and blah, blah, blah this, and I think that this isn't like, oh, for the love of fun. And it's just like, he's like my sister, she moved down to the States, or she moved, like, she went to college and this and that, and she used to have common sense like you and me do. So you and me, we have, like, you speak good, you're a good speaker, but, you know, I don't have all those words or whatever, but I have common sense, same as you, and she used to be like that, but now she's brainwashed. Now she just does what all the brainwashed people tell her to, and it's just like, you mean being safe? Again, I don't know what to believe about all of the things in the world all of the time, but a lot of the things that he was saying are just the things that are things. And I'm just like, I gotta get back to work. I really just want my car fixed. And even wasn't even to get my car fixed. This was still just, hey, you can't just call certain people and be like, can I make an appointment? Like, no. You gotta show up and be like, hey, here's what I need. And I'll be like, all right, show back up on Thursday, and we'll get you set up. Like, all right, thank you. So every time I have to go back to him, and I'm like, oh, well, where else am I gonna go? The what other guy is, you know, like 40 minutes away in the woods where I already tried to go and got lost, and the road was shut down, so I'm not doing that again. And then the other option is like a dealership, which I spent a week trying to just get them on the phone. So I'm like, well, this is, out of the options, this is still the best option. Again, still a nice guy. I can still relate to him. But while he's talking, I've got my keys in my pocket, and I'm just stabbing myself in my own hand. Maybe that's why my hand hurts, actually. Now that I Voltron those puzzle pieces together into one robot of answers, yeah, I just sat there just clutching my keys until I hurt myself, because what else am I gonna do? I'm just here losing my mind. I'm not gonna like offer to fight this guy or anything. I mean, this basically is just, an angry emote picture as opposed to hangry. But regardless, we'll add a big wooden spoon. Over here, big old spoon. in the fun. This arm comes up here, and then this around there, so that comes back there. Come around this way. So anyway, flight out on Thursday. Actually, I'll get that done, and then I'll have to make another appointment to go back in to get it re-inspected because it's over the 10 days again. And see, see what happens this time. And the other thing that I realized, I'm not sure if I already said this. You probably already said it. A lot of things that you say you already said 45 minutes ago, and you're just not aware because it was 45 minutes ago, and you're just been railing on about all kinds of other things. But go for it. Give it a try. Give it a try. See what it happens. So I realized this. I think today, maybe yesterday. I feel like I did already say this today. But I don't know how to draw anymore. But yeah, now like I officially every Friday from 2 o'clock my time to like 5 o'clock in the evening, like a 3-hour stream. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, math is easy. I do a Streamlabs stream now. Eric will do some other stuff, telling people how to stream, how to get in, get their stream started, how to do all the things, and me and or Clyde, or if I have Eric on the stream as well, we'll do a Friday stream, which I realize means I technically get paid to do a little live stream show every week. I already do this one, and although there's some subs, there's some bits occasionally, and whatever the Twitch ad revenue that comes through. But I mean, $60 a year is not getting paid to do a thing. I'm just gonna draw this hand again, I think. Oh, I'm gonna draw this hand again too. This looks terrible. There, thumb goes down there. Thumb goes down there. But I'm just like, technically I'm just like, whatever I'm doing Friday, just drop it, or make sure to finish my actual work beforehand, and do a stream as part of my job. So I did it. I won. There we go. In your face. In the faces of all of them. Now, the only real thing is none of my characters are there. It is still a work stream. But although, sometimes people are like, "Hey, tell me about Streamlabs stream things." Like, I don't know anything. I try not to know too much. I try to just keep being one of the art guys who makes art stuff, and then I get to where is okay, yeah, there's no bracelets. But I did it technically. And by it, I mean not, hey, I'm putting on a show. Somebody please watch. Please look at me. It's just like, hey, you're doing this. Like, we want you to do this. Will you do this? Yeah, do this. Like, wow, like I'm being encouraged to make content for a big old streaming company. Like, that's, you know, that's pretty special and magical to me. So that was, you know, a little piece of upbeat winningness in my week, I think. Accidentally clicked away from the stuff on my phone. There are my buttons. There we go. And this is definitely not an and that needs that warrants that end that I just gave it. But in addition to that bit of nonsense, what kind of lines? Oh, you're gonna go with brush strokes, aren't you? I guess so. Go with. Let's move this off to the side. Go to. Feels kind of thick, but we'll do it anyway. The other thing. Oh, yes. So, if you're in here, you probably are already following my Instagram, or YouTube, or Twitter. I want to move that front hair down a bit. So last weekend and into the week, I decided. Actually, first I saw a post from Ron Funches, posted one of Kevin Nealon's caricature paintings of Chris Farley, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I, you know, not too long ago, listened to a Comedy Bang Bang interview with Kevin Nealon, talking about his new book that I feel like I should get, but I don't know. I really don't read books. I'm not a good reader. But his book, I think it's called, like, Sometimes I Exaggerate or something like that, but it's got a lot of his drawings. He draws, like, all of the celebrities, all of the people that he's met, so there's just all this artwork in it as well. And all right, that's the ear. So anyway, Ron Funches posted one of his, and I was like, oh my god, this is like 1,000 times better than I ever imagined. Like, I thought he was doing those, like, hey, I'm a famous person, here are my doodles of people, and they're like, yeah, they're pretty cool. You know, I'd love to own a Kevin Nealon doodle or whatever, but it's just like, it's a Kevin Nealon doodle. But I saw it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, Kevin Nealon is amazing. It was big, this big, huge, just kind of semi-caricature-y, like maybe watercolor or markers or I don't know, but it's just this amazing, like, I don't know, like magazine cover quality picture of Chris Farley, and I was just like, huh, well that looks awesome. Now I want to do that, and I have a few canvases. Either on my walls that are blank, or just have some color splooshed on them where I'm like, oh, I'll put something on that eventually, or there is like a drawing on them or a painting on them, and I'm like, I just hate that, and one of these days I will paint over it when I take the time. So I had a canvas in my bedroom. I'm not sure, I don't think it had something on it before, but it might have had something on them before. But if you look at the video, the beginning, it's just kind of like this pinkish reddish like swirls, where I'm like, well, whatever I paint on it's going to be some sort of like red thing. I don't know. It'll probably just be some kind of abstract nonsense just to cover up space on the wall. And then I was like, I want to do a big face. I want to do a big giant face like Kevin Nealon. But who? I'm not good at mixing skin colors by any means, not consistently anyway. But Skeletor, on the other hand, he both has not too many facial features to have to deal with, or skin to deal with, and I also wanted to do like the toy version, so you know, I don't have to paint real eyes or anything. I was like, I think I can not only do this, but do it in no time at all. It'll just be one of these things. I'll just kind of throw it together, and it'll be fun and quick. Which nothing is quick. It was still fun. So I grabbed a Skeletor off the shelf, took a picture of him, and And then I thought, you know what I don't want to do? I don't want to attempt to draw this big on the canvas. It's just going to end up wonky and weird. I'm not good at just drawing things like redrawing something from here to over there without it just ending up being wonky. Like, I should... I should definitely use a projector, or maybe I'll just square it up. Maybe I'll just square it up, put some squares on the drawing, or on the photo, put some squares on the page, and then I'll just put everything where it needs to go. But I'm like, ugh. I'm just so lazy. I want this to be faster than that. But I also don't want to go anywhere or wait for things to be delivered through the internet. So I went to the dollar store. I got a bunch of yellow paint. I got a bunch of purple paint. Because I didn't feel like going to the art store. Probably spent about the same amount of money as going to the art store. So anyway, then I was like, well, I'll just, later on that day, I was like, well, I don't want to. I don't want to put too much effort into this. I want to do it the easy way. So I'm gonna take a quick run, a little jaunt to Staples and see if they have one of those $70 projectors, and I'll just get one of those, even though I already ordered one before for the same reason. Got it. It wasn't great. It was okay. I managed to get one painting out of it. And then I lent it to somebody, and then they moved away, and I never saw that projector again. But I do take quite a bit of solace in the fact that they probably use it 1,000 times more than I ever would. So just like, that's great. It's gone to a good place. It's doing good work as far as I know. And since it also wasn't an amazing projector, I'm like, well, if I see one that's like a little better, like maybe I will get a $100 or a $120 projector or something, and it will be worth it. I'll do more paintings, and it'll get used and whatnot. USB cable that just fell. A little shelf under my desk. But I just couldn't find one anywhere. Like, at Staples, I think the cheapest one was like, $200, $300 or something like that. I was like, well, I definitely don't want one that's that good / expensive. It's just going to be definitely a waste for me. And then I took another run over to Radio Shack or whatever that's called now. Even though Radio Shack never has anything, and the only thing that the people there say to you is, "Have you checked Amazon?" You're not even suggesting that I go to the source.ca and order that. Like, you're literally like, "Oh, you can definitely get that on Amazon for $40." And I forget where else I went. I went to a handful of other stores where I'm like, yeah, this place might have one, this place might have one. And there's just like nothing anywhere because everything is just online. But I wanted it now. I wanted to start this painting today or else I'll never do it. There's a car that drives around town here that just backfires all the time, and I still always find myself worrying, did someone just get shot? Is that somebody driving around shooting a gun? Or is that same car driving around backfiring? How is this? I'm over here losing my mind trying to get my car inspected, and I saw a car today that was just like, this car is like, I'm pretty sure I could pull this car to pieces with my bare fingers. But here they are. I didn't check to see how old their sticker was, but whatever. So eventually, I ended up at Winners. Kind of the last place I would ever really expect to find a projector. But they always do just have weird stuff there. It is just kind of a weird, hey, we didn't sell this somewhere else, so it's here. So I'm also like, well, you're not if you do have one, I'm not spending $100 and some on it because it's not going to be good. But it might be acceptable if it's like, I don't know, $40 or $50. Like, yeah, I'll get whatever. I'm just trying to project it onto a canvas. It just has to be a half decent size. And at Winners, they had 2 projectors. 2! I don't mean like, 2 different... I mean 2 projectors. There was just some random stuff, like a couple different kinds of headphones and whatnot. And one projector that was like $130. I'm just like, sorry, Winners. Definitely don't trust you enough to give you $130 for a piece of electronics. And the other one that they had was like $20. It was on sale from like $30 or $40. And I thought, you know what? Even if this is garbage, I'll probably still be able, like, it's definitely going to at least allow me to project up onto a canvas so I can just quickly trace off the basic details, basic structure, and then on my way I go. Like, this might be fine. So I took a chance on it. Now, I realized it wasn't a real projector, but I thought that at least still had, a power plug of some kind that helped aid it in its projecting power. And it did not. It did not. What I thought was the power plug was actually just a slot that you could open so that when you put your phone inside the little box, you could still run a plug to it. And the instructions were basically, take the brightness on your phone, crank it all the way up, and hope you have some good brightness on your phone. And then you lay it in this little box, and you close the door, and then there is a lens on it, which will magnify it. Then you just, adjust the lens. So it's nice and crisp and clear on your wall or whatever. And the picture on the side of the box is like somebody like, yeah, I'm watching Star Wars over here. Like, it looks like I'm basically watching exactly Star Wars on my wall, like from my phone. It's pretty much a perfect, one-to-one theater quality picture or whatever. And I was just like, well, whatever. I definitely, but yeah, it's just basically a lens to project your phone. So it doesn't work good at all. Like, if anybody did buy it to watch movies, like, it would be just insane. Like, it needs to be absolutely 1,000% pitch black in order to see anything. And it was still early in the day, so even in here with all of the blacking out curtains that I have to do stop motion, like, there's still light in here, so I was like, this is not possible. So I went into the bathroom. I put my big canvas, like you can see, like, this size back here, like a big, like, I don't know what that is, 2x4, 3x4, something like that, feet. And I took some tape, I put it on the edge of the tub, taped it to the wall, and tried desperately to balance this stupid little projector in a way that it would shine enough to let me see and be big enough. And it did. Like, it gave me what I needed. But the idea of actually watching this as a thing was just like, this is insane. I felt like it was basically, only slightly worse, though, than the quality of that other $70 projector that I got that was, an actual powered projector that's projecting things with a light and you could plug your USB into it and all that stuff. And yeah, so I just closed everything off in the bathroom and did my best. But I will say, it technically, not in a million years do I recommend it, but it got the job done. It kept me from having to, scale something up manually. Even if I could only barely make out some of the details, it's like, this gets me to where I need to be, so everything is still, lined up or I can't think of the word. There's some sort of animation term that's not coming to me. But whatever. Everything is prepped and ready to go. But I was very, very surprised at just how bad it was, though. But then I finished that painting, and no, not proportions. I think it's whatever the animation equivalent of dropping plumb lines is. It allowed me to drop the plumb lines to put the basic structure. I don't know. There was some big fun word in there that I like to use. It's just not coming out. But yeah, block it out. That's a good. I definitely was thinking of something else, but block it out is definitely the more correct term, I think. But yeah, it helped me block everything out. with, I want to say, I feel like I want to say the least amount of effort, but still the amount of like trying to get this thing balanced because it's also an awkward shape. So I'm trying to put it vertical, which it does not want to do, but it barely even wants to sit up horizontal the way it's designed to. It's just like, it's such a weird little shape that it's like everything about it was just nothing but trouble. But then I went looking on Amazon for other just cheap projectors. And I'm like, oh, these are all just so cheap, though. They're just so cheap. But I'm not getting them to watch movies or to project things huge, so it shouldn't really matter. But you still want a certain level of quality. So anyway, last night, Sunday night, I don't know. I've just been like somewhat keeping myself busy. Keep expecting the power to go out, even though it's not storming. But there's just enough constant rain that I'm like, somebody's gonna go off the road and take out that pole or whatever it is they always keep taking out that takes my power away. When there's any sign of weather. I was just sitting here, like I spent so much time last night, looking at that canvas bed. Well, first I was like, I painted over what was on it, so just covering it with white, covering it with more white, covering it with more white, and just sitting here watching weird, crazy YouTube engineers build crazy inventions, and watching paint dry. Then I still kind of wanted to at least block out what I was going to do, lay down some sketch lines. It was like, I want to do another thing like that Skeletor. But with who? But with who? And I still wanted it to be one of my action figures, to be one of the toys in the room. So basically just like looking around the room, digging through the bin of figures that don't make it onto the shelf. They're just there in case I want to animate them or take them apart for something later. And I was kind of like, you know what? I think maybe Raphael, maybe movie version NECA Raphael. I'll take a photo of him, and then let's just see how it looks like with the projector. And it was already dark out, so I was like, I can probably do it in this room without having to go through a big rigmarole of taping a painting to the wall in the bathroom. And I was surprised. It was definitely a little clearer because it was on like more of a solid white background instead of a colored background. And it was, it was fairly dark in here. I turned everything off. But then basically once I looked at it, I was like, I don't actually want to paint this. I don't, Like, I'll either take another pose, like change the angle and still do a Raphael, or I'll pick somebody else and do something else completely. I just still didn't quite decide yet. Anyway, since it was kind of a more just clearer photo, and it was on like a better background, I was almost like, maybe somebody could watch this to watch a movie, like maybe to like blow up your phone to be like, 20-inch TV size or 30-inch TV size, like that probably wouldn't be too unreasonable to expect out of this projector. Really. Because I was getting almost a pretty good, like, but at the same time, I was like, all right, trying to, you know, do what I need, where it's like, get it a specific size. I had it propped up on this chair, trying to slide it far enough away where I'm like, there's just not enough room. You know, I just need a giant space to be able to keep moving things around. But other than the fact, it was very difficult to get the whole image perfectly clear and in focus. The parts that were focused were like, wow, like I can actually see quite a bit of detail in this. It's still pretty dark. But I could see somebody making do with this almost, you know, making a half decent blown up image. But still, definitely does not compare to anything. Because I think even said in the box, like, it's still like 1080p or whatever. Like, no, it's not. No, it definitely isn't. How dare you? This is how you end up at Winners, guys. This is how you end up at Winners. Because Winners is for clothing that was a loser somewhere else. And, you know, that's usually more than fine for clothing. But for electronics, it's just no. Just no. Speaking of quality, I love the Pita Pit. There's no hiding that. I talk about it more often than not. 99% of the time, at least the Pita Pit I go to, I love all of the people there. I'm already, oh no, yeah, like every year I get excited, like at Christmas time, I usually get like, you know, just a whole drawer full of t-shirts and shirts and sweaters there. It usually is one of my favorite places to go and get t-shirts and whatnot. And this year, actually the last like 2 years since pandemic, they just don't have anything cool anymore. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just get stuff that gets the job done, depending on what you need. Of course, when I say it's the loser somewhere else, it's either just overstocked somewhere else, or it was just like, hey, these are the slightly off, or like, you know, the print on this was slightly askew, so it goes into the, it's not complete trash, but we can sell it at a discount store type of thing. I know I was saying so. Oh, yes. Speaking of quality and Pita Pit. I went to Pita Pit today. Mostly because I'm like, all right, this time, for real, I'm going to, like, actually eat my fruits and vegetables. I'm going to actually make sure I make my super juice, blending everything up every day. And, definitely finally stop just spending every night gorging myself on chips and cookies and or whatever random junk food that I just decide get when I go over to the grocery store. But I was still lazy and hungry, so it's like, all right, the only actual healthy food, aside from, you know, going to some sort of super vegan place or whatever, is Pita Pit. It's still the closest thing to, like, getting a fast food, junk foody type of thing. And somebody else makes it for me, and but, you know, it's still spinach and sprouts and whatnot. But, like, it was still a little while before they closed, actually, now that I think of it. I was like, oh, it's practically closing time. Like, no, it wasn't. It was still like 3-4 hours till closing time. And, only because I don't like most of a lot of things. You know, I don't like tomatoes, I don't like onions. They ruin everything. And yeah, I get a chicken Caesar pita with a little bit of hot sauce. A little bit of buffalo sauce added in there. Sometimes they put a ton. Sometimes they actually just put a little. And either way, it's still good. But while I was there today, I was just like, what is happening right now? Like, everything? Like, everything was already just pre-contaminated. Like, because I was like looking, it was like, I want a bunch of cucumbers, but I can't say, give me a ton of cucumbers, because there's a bunch of onions already sprinkled in with the cucumbers because they're next to each other. And then there was already, there was some tomato and something else, and then there was mostly like onion in everything, where I'm like, oh, there's such a good chance that when I eat this, I will bite into an onion, and then I won't be able to finish the rest of this pita. Hopefully I'll either see it before I get to it, or it'll just go unnoticed. The hot sauce will take care of it. I don't know. But as I'm watching her make my pita and the next pita coming in from delivery, I guess, the DoorDash pita, I'm just like, oh, well, this is clearly why. You can't do this. And I didn't say anything, of course, but she would take, for example, the pita after me. They got some regular lettuce. I get romaine and spinach. Other people get regular lettuce. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of regular lettuce. Not for a long time. Not since I had romaine. I'm just like, well, there's no turning back now. Once you go romaine, you remain with the romaine. There's no need to explain. So when she grabbed like just a giant handful of leaf lettuce, whatever. I can't even think of what it's called now. Just green lettuce. Just a ton of that lettuce. Shoved it in the pita. And then was like, that's clearly way too much. And then she grabbed a bunch of it and put it back. But she had already put tomatoes into that pita, so I'm just like, iceberg. That's the name, of course. Why couldn't I remember that? And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, Well, this explains why there's just random stuff in every single other thing. Like, even the little thing of cheddar cheese had a bunch of, like, I don't know, mushrooms in it. And I think also onions, or I'm just like, what is happening right now? She didn't use the scoop, she used her hand. I mean, she had gloves on and stuff. It was like, what is happening today? It's just like, is the boss really, is he fully just gone on vacation? 'Cause you're just going bananas over here. And then, yeah, towards the end, there, like, some stuff fell out of Epita, and she just went, like, just threw it on the floor. It was like, nobody ever does that. Nobody ever does that. Where am I? Where am I? Oh my god. But I mean, I'm sure she knows, like, she's gonna be the one to clean that up. It's all right there. Like, other than, what if you slip on this? But there's stuff like that it just, again, when I see it, I'm not like, this is an outrage. Like, I've been places with even my own family where we're like, I can't even believe, did you see how they were mopping that floor? Like, do you really care how that person was mopping the floor? Like, don't worry about it. Don't put too much time and effort into worrying about how that person mops a floor. You did not have to mop that floor. But, you know. Just amazing sometimes. Like, I remember I went to my friend's house, when I was like, I don't know, 9, 10? And, it was so weird. Like, I still have just all these weird memories of going to this guy's house where there was definitely like 1,000 rules. It's like, we didn't have rules like this in our house where, like, even specifically like, ooh, I gotta go to in the living room and get a thing or whatever. Like, okay. But then it was like, he got down on his knees and, like, crawled across the living room, going around the back of the couch and everything to not, like, disturb the carpet, and then still get whatever he needed from the other side of the room or whatever. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Just walk into your living room, like, oh, like, you know, we're not allowed in the living room. Like, how do you guys, like, you guys know that you're not millionaires, right? You don't have, like, an east and west wing, like, other than, like, the basement was kind of a rec room, like, there is a couch down here and TV and all the stuff. So it was, you know, one of those houses where, you know, oh, we hang out in the basement. We do our living there, but, you know, in case grandma shows up, we need this pristine room to have tea in or whatever. But this was like, you know, the mid to late 80s, early 90s. Lots of, you know, I definitely knew, I had, like, lots of friends that did live in that way, where it was just like, we're not allowed in this room. Like, this is a major room in your house. You have to go through this room to go to the bathroom, like, only to go to the bathroom, but anything else, like, but if you really need to go down into the basement, into that back corner behind the furnace. That's where we use the bathroom. Like, what's the point? What are you guys doing with your homes? But the wild juxtaposition to that was, whilst in the basement playing Cobra Triangle on the Nintendo, which is, you know, the game where you're like a speedboat and you got to jump over things, and also sometimes I think you have like guns and you can shoot the bad guys who are trying to steal things or people or whatever. It was a hard, painful, but still fairly amazing game. So anyway, while we're playing that, he had, I want to say like a sunflower seed or sunflower seeds or something like that. Or he ate something that he was like, like I don't like this, and then it was like spit it on the floor. I'm just like, this is literally the same house where you're not. I can see why you're not allowed to go into certain rooms because you're like whatever, like that will get picked up with the vacuum later on, like. I'm like a whatever 11-year-old child. I don't remember how long ago this was, but like I am just a small child, and I am fully aware that that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable behavior. How dare you? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Do you hate your mom? Like, do you like? I kind of hate your mom. She does scare me. But I can see why she's as crazy as she is. But I assume it's her fault that she's the one that raised at least one feral child. I noted that I was also spent some of my life being terrified of his older brother. Couldn't even guess what his name was now. Remember what he looked like, but he was significantly bigger than us, and in that age bracket / hanging out with the kids that were like, oh, you're small, so we will hate and torture you if we feel like it. His sister seemed like a well-rounded, reasonable, intelligent, good person, though. Maybe she's a murderer. I don't know. I didn't keep up. And basically, that's the gist of everything. Kids are mostly awful. There's also a pile of honeycomb cereal, semi-smushed into the floor downstairs. That I guarantee it's probably from these two adorable kids. I think they have to be twins. They're these unbelievably adorable kids that they head off to school at 7 in the morning. I know that because they very loudly clamber down the stairs, yelling and excited about the day and everything. Which again, I can't blame a kid. Can't blame kids for actually being happy to be going out into the world. Good for them. But they do every time they go out. There's always, I don't know where any of this stuff came from, but there's like a little, like somewhat of a little kid's scooter, like kind of a little skateboard with handles. Not quite a full scooter, not quite a skateboard. Some like kind of toy version in between. And the sound of that on the step right below, pretty much right below me, just sounds like the end of the world. Just all of a sudden, I was like, what is happening? Oh my god, somebody's freaking out. I was like, oh, That's just two, like, 4-year-olds. Like, they're tiny little kids just heading off to preschool or wherever kids go. And oh my god, it just makes a terrible sound. And half the time, they'll just stop at the bottom of the stairs, and the mom will be like, all right, like, go on up the stairs. Like, go on up. Head up. Let's go. Time to go. Start moving. Move up. Go on. Except not in English. I mostly, some of it's in English, but some of it I'm just like, I can tell what she's saying or what she's trying to say. Yeah, today when I was going to go get my pita, they were at the bottom of the stairs with like umbrellas and stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'll just take a few steps back and I'll just wait for them to come up the stairs. And they were at the bottom of the stairs forever, like, but on the stairs where the mom was like, you know, go on, go ahead, go on. And then they finally got up and passed me, and I'm like, oh, it's like it's always a big team effort, you know, with your big team there or whatever. And she's like, oh, yes, like, oh, have a good day, like, oh, you too. And the little girl twin asked what I said, and oh my god, I want to say like a South African accent is what I think it is. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Nigerian. I don't, no idea. But oh man, this little kid's little voice with that accent, oh, beyond adorable. Beyond adorable. But anyway, they also seem like they're the ones that are the age that is like, here's your handful of honeycombs. And then they end up smushed somewhere. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how they afford it. I don't know where they get the energy. Like, I woke up early this morning, and, whilst going to the bathroom, take a glance at Twitter as I do, to see, like, what is going on with the world. Sometimes there's stuff going on. Maybe I should know, and Twitter has it all. But Twitter has too much. And man, oh man, ugh. People are bananas. But yeah, it doesn't take much, I feel like. Like, well, whatever, yeah. Like, today, there's always a bunch of, this politician's doing that, this thing is that, this is whatever, falling apart over here, It's like, oh, yes, it's all very scary and exhausting. Oh, why can't we just be better people? And, and whatever, just read one of those things that are just like, hey guys, by the way, like, here's the kind of thing I get in my DMs for virtually no, just because I exist, and just some horrible person just going on about how, like, whatever, when when I'm in power and when our powerful powers are in power, like people like you'll finally be exterminated because you're what's wrong with the country and blah blah blah. I'm just like, oh, how? Like this is the future. How can people still just be so full of just hate? And even within their reasoning being like, God wants you punished for being the way that you are. Like, well, then he'll do it. Then he'll do it. Based on your whole jam. The thing that if you believe so much in this thing that you're willing to hate on everybody, then you're supposed to also believe that he's going to be the one to spread that hate himself. You're not supposed to do it for him. And there's just so many of those. And I mean, this morning, I mean, it was still, like 2 hours before I'm getting up anyway. But just laying there, just with the blankets, just like wrapping myself in and just feeling like I don't know if I can move. I don't know if I can pull it out of myself or pull myself out of this to even try to be a part of the world today. Just because I'm like, that was just such a horrific thing. Just a big, like, direct message as well, with his name, not hiding behind it at all. Just like, we're the. It wasn't like we're the white supremacists, but it wasn't. Their name was already like we're the white right or something like that, where it's just like, I don't want to even try. I don't want to even try today. And again, just like the Justin Roiland stuff, where it's like, why can't people just enjoy making cartoons without having to be horrible to other people? Like, why is that a thing? And that being like, I only ever heard that guy on like a podcast once. I think his assistant was on it, either separately or at the same time. But in both of those instances, I was just like, oh, this guy is a maniac. Like I thought more so like he's gonna hurt himself. Like this guy hates himself. He's very dark, and he has really no respect for anybody else, or / just such a severe drinking problem that he does not realize he's a problem. Like, he is a problem. And this was a long time ago. But everybody else on the podcast was kind of like, yeah, he's wacky and weird. Like, no, he's gonna do something drastic. Like, and in my head was like, he's gonna just hurt himself real bad. And then, whatever. All of his stuff starts coming out as he's arrested. And you're like, oh, yeah. I didn't even think about it. Like, I was so, like, already pre-concerned about him that it's just like, oh, this guy, he's got problems. Like, he's got problems. He doesn't know how to handle his own life, success or otherwise. Didn't for a minute think that, oh yeah, he's probably threatening girlfriends and spouses and whatever. Because, like, whatever his assistant was talking about, I was just like, you still have that? Like, how much do you get paid? You must get paid so much money to be Justin Roiland's assistant, because I'm only just listening to this, and I already quit. I'm already quitting that job that I don't have and doesn't exist for me. All right, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna render this off, send it to Voxney, cause just about 3 minutes ago I remembered, oh yeah, I still have a bunch of work stuff that I need to render out. You know, for the most part, that should just mean me clicking a button and waiting for it to do its thing, as opposed to doing all kinds of stuff. But yeah. Boop. Alright, I guess we can see it without the edges, so that's what that will look like. Still retain some detail small. Sometimes drawing emotes is annoying, because, you know, you put too much detail and you can't see it. But whatever. I made a thing. So yeah, it's another week of streaming. I almost very much just went and took a nap instead. But with the power of PETA inside of me, I was excited for making some stuff / rambling incessantly for an hour and 56 minutes into the internet. And of course, on the off chance that Space Goonie and Pat Pro 101 we're gonna be here, and of course I've gotta be here. I gotta start watching other people's streams, but it's stressful. I find it very stressful to watch other people's streams. Like, I should chime in. I should partake in the chat. But then it's like, you know, usually I always watch something. I always put something else on to motivate me to do something else. So it's always like, oh, I'll watch YouTube, then I don't feel the pressure to be a part of the thing. But then I'll do my own thing. It's like, hey, be a part of this. Talk to me while I'm talking. Oh yeah, you need somebody else? You actually need somebody else to say things? And, instead of, you know, you just randomly? You're not going to just talk regardless whether somebody else chimes in or not? Yeah, no, that's not like you at all. Ugh. I mean, it's true. It's true. Whether anybody says anything in the chat, I will still just fill the 2 hours with whatever is in my head for the week. But yeah, I also didn't think that Pat streamed anymore. But there's a handful of like Voxney. I almost went to her stream yesterday or the day before. I was like, oh, I want to see what this is all about. She had a post and I was like, I do want to go watch this. And then I just ended up doing something else. I think I just ended up actually painting this canvas white and was like, I'll put that on while I do that. And then I just didn't. I just, whatever was already on music or whatever. But it's hard. I find it hard for me to add other things to my entertainment lineup sometimes. But yeah, I assumed, you know, when Pat was like, I'm kind of done with all of the social media stuff. You're all nuts, and I can't take this. This is exhausting. It was like that I didn't see any posts or anything about the streams. I'm like, yeah, that seems about right. It's all very exhausting. It's all very exhausting. And yeah, exactly. Like, everybody has a thing. Everybody. Like, I mostly listen to Comedy Bang Bang and a few, like, 4 other podcasts, and so many other people are just like, yay, Paul F. Tompkins is on this one. I'm so excited. Like, Paul F. Tompkins has, like, 3 or 4 podcasts in and of himself, but I don't listen to any of Paul F. Tompkins' podcasts for some reason. I like when he's on somebody else's podcast more than I you know, than having him be in control. I'd rather him be a character or whatever. But again, that's what's great about there being a billion podcasts, a billion YouTube channels, a billion Twitch streams, is we've you know, if everything was affordable and everything was just, you know, if the world was running a lot more Obama style, if we felt the way we did during those Obama years, then the whole streaming, YouTubing, just TikToking, like, all that stuff would just be, like, just that much more fun and engrossing for everybody. But there's just so many people that are actively trying to ruin everything, and or so many of these channels that are a bunch of people that are like, by the way, I'm a Justin Roiland, watch me be super mean. But I don't know. Anyway, tune in to the Streamlabs channel on Friday, and I'll be there for a few hours. Then, of course, Tuesdays, I'm here, and I still can't have a real hard time bringing myself to stream myself playing video games, mostly because I really only usually play them for a few minutes, like maybe 15, 20 minutes at a time. And then I'm kind of done for the night. So it's like, then I'm like forcing myself to play video games when I'm like, I just do this. I'll shoot a few people in Fortnite. I either win, I lose, and then I go do something else. But anyway, this is the thing that I do. Thanks so much for not just watching, but for participating. Like, that's amazing. It takes a lot of effort, I think, to go and type things while somebody's rambling and talking at a fake cat. But, you know, sometimes the chat people are pretty excited that, you know, I'm here. They talk directly to me as if I'm real. And that makes me feel special. I mean, it should. It should. You're still stupid and you're garbage, but I'm glad that you feel special. Oh my god, I'm garbage? How am I garbage? On so many reasons. So many reasons. Oh, also, in that last Skeletor painting stop motion parts, I did not reanimate Skeletor. I just used the Skeletor from here, so that's why his mouth is just frantically moving instead of being animated to what he's actually saying, because I'm like, that's not what I'm doing right here. I just spent like 3.5 days painting this thing. I just need him to yell at me. And, oh, I did want to talk about this. It's not here now. But at the beginning of the video, when Skeletor's like, hey, go paint a picture, and I'm like, fine. I very specifically, but my hand goes out of frame, so it looks like you could probably just assume that, is it on my desktop? It's got to be here somewhere. That I just grabbed the paintbrush from off screen, whereas I spent way too much time concocting a magic trick. Stop motions folder. Paint Pig Skeletor. Here we go. Where
Hey, Jimmy Cameron, why don't you paint me like one of your French girls?
Jimmy, French girls? What?
Immortalize me?
So this whole time you can see right there, that little thing, that's the paintbrush in my sleeve. Is it just a paintbrush in my sleeve? No, because the first few times I ended up whipping a paintbrush across the room and didn't want to break everything. So I got some string. It's on the shelf back there. I tied it to the little hole at the end of the paintbrush handle, and then I ran that down my sleeve, down my down my sweater, and tied it to the belt loop on my pants, and so that I could whip my hand out and then do my best to catch the paintbrush. So see, my hand goes up and it just flies out, and then I grab it and bang, and that's the magic trick. But it happens so fast and it's so barely on frame that you can't quite tell, but spent way too much time getting that to happen while looking at an inanimate toy and yelling at it. Yelling at me. Oh, where is it?
Immortalize me?
Fine. Just stop yelling at me. And then we paint. Skeletor's yelling at me. Paint. And then the end.
Huh?
So I was pretty happy with it, but of course, I'm so bad with mixing colors, even though I was like, going to keep this simple. I'm only mixing these three yellows together and white and black, and I still basically like repainted certain chunks of it like again and again, where I'm like, well, this is a completely different yellow now. Oh, this isn't going to blend in. Now I just have to blend it all back out again. So that's why his right eyebrow is the way it looks, and I'm like, close enough. Close enough. That will do, pig. That will do.
That will do, Paint Pig. That will do.
And of course, Paint Pig is a reference to last week's stream where I talked about the AI prompt writers for calling people who make art paint pigs. And I talked about how my friend John Lamb is kind of getting harassed, and then later realized that it is not my friend John Lamb that sat between me and Pat Pro 101 in the animation studio so many years ago. It was somebody who spells their name completely different, and is not the John Lamb that I know. Still seems like a real nice guy who makes art, and people that I follow him, and that's why he popped up in my feed. But also the reason why it's like, well, obviously that's the John Lamb that I know. He just dropped one of the letters. No. This guy is completely different. Completely different. Oh man. Anyway, that's been this week. We'll do it again next week. We'll probably get back to maybe finishing one of these comic strips I haven't finished, and or something else. I don't know. We'll see what happens between now and then. Anyway, everybody have a great night, a great week, and make something and enjoy it, or enjoy not making something. Whatever makes you happy, do that. As long as it's not stabbing people, unless you're in some sort of stab club where everybody wants to stab you. Even then, don't. I don't care if it's a club. Have a good night. I'll talk to y'all again next week. And so will I. I will talk as well. I'm always going to be talking, and you'll never stop me from talking. Hey guys. Sometimes I say things.
Shut up, all of you! Stream over! Press the end button, or I will go crazy ballistic bananas.